The British government promised invisible borders and a Brexit that citizens hardly notice in everyday life. Now it is different. Downing Street commits the kingdom to an uncomfortable restart. Fields still shape the landscape. Horses stand on a pasture separated by wooden fences. Wildflowers bloom on adjacent meadows. It is as much idyll as is possible on the edge of a motorway. But in the next few weeks, a huge parking lot for trucks is likely to be created here along the M20 in the English county of Kent. The residents of the town of Ashford have been facing this alarming message since the weekend near the main connecting road to the Eurotunnel and the port of Dover. The British government has bought an 11-hectare site here where new border facilities are to be built in preparation of Brexit. The first excavators arrived recently and the clearing of the site began. Due to the lack of time, the area will initially serve as a parking lot where the trucks will be waiting for the ferry to the continent, even though Cabinet Minister Michael Gove rejected the accusation that a huge concrete truck parking lot was being created. In the long term, a customs clearance center is to be established. So far, the trucks at the Dover bottleneck can roll directly onto the ferry to deliver their goods to the continent. The Brexit transition period ends on December 31st. The kingdom is then no longer a member of the internal market and no longer belongs to the customs union. Because of the location of the port in the middle of the chalk cliffs does not allow any expansion, facilities in the hinterland are necessary to carry out the additional controls. The British government now seems to have become aware of this reality after Brexit supporters have repeatedly said in recent years that the customs border should be invisible thanks to new technologies. So now the government has announced investment totaling £705 million, equivalent to more than 780 million euros. The money is to flow into the infrastructure for new border posts as well as into IT systems and additional staff. The trigger was apparently a leaked letter from International Trade Minister Liz Truss, in which the Brexit hardliner expressed concerns about the preparation of the ports. To give the economy more time to transition, the UK has announced that it will gradually introduce full border controls by July the 1st, 2021. But there is great concern that the infrastructure itself will not be ready to this date. Truss letter triggered malice and criticism from the opposition Labour Party. While the main protests in Kent are from the general public, the British government launched its new information campaign for citizens and businesses recently. Let's get started is the motto for the restart of the kingdom, as Downing Street calls it. The nation is to be prepared for the changed situation from January 1st with posters, text messages and brochures. It is pointed out, for example, that roaming charges may apply in the future when staying on the continent, and that it is better to take care of the formalities when traveling with pets 4 months before departure. Travel insurance premiums are also expected to rise as eligibility for free healthcare ends in the 27 EU countries. The recommendations on the government website would sound like what the Remain campaign predicted in 2016, commented one commentator, referring to the warnings of pro-European in recent years that Eurosceptics have always been blamed as scaremongering. Meanwhile, it is still not clear whether the EU and the UK can agree on a free trade agreement by the end of the year. Negotiations are slow. The economy on both sides of the English Channel regularly warns of the massive consequences of a disorderly exit from the European Union. Just a few days ago, the Federation of German Industries, that's the BDI, said that Brexit would become an economic disaster for companies without clear guidelines for the movement of goods. By autumn, there should be an agreement on the most important issues, including Brussels' call for a level playing field, the role of the European Court of Justice in possible disputes, and fishing. And if you now want to know more about European politics from a German point of view, YouTube has chosen another of my videos for you right here in the end screen, right next to your chance to subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so yet. I'll see you in my next video. Click and enjoy. Viel Spaß!